Welcome back to the Den of Tools.
Hey y'all, I'm back. I'm here to hijack Red's show. We're going to do it again. In fact, this time I'm going to tackle a hot topic, if you will. Something Red he keeps putting off, but we're going to do it. We're going to talk about it. Yeah, you guessed it. We're going to talk about the 10 worst tools from Harbor Freight. Yeah, this is all stuff you want to avoid at all costs. And first up on the list is, the Pittsburgh 6-inch ratcheting clamp spreader bar or whatever thing. Anyway, and it's not just the 6-inch. It's any of these gray plastic pieces of junk. And the problem with these is the ratcheting part. It's just, you're going to clamp down on it once. It's going to work fine. It's going to hold the piece, and then you're going to want to put some pressure on it, and you're going to strip those gears, and they'll be dead. That's it. That's all there is to it. All of them. Now, they make some good stuff, but any of these ratcheting bar ones, they're junk. You'll see some other stuff that they make. In fact, you'll see a lot of them old-timey, woodworkers, guys have been doing it for years and years, and they got a ton of the actual bar clamps from Harbor Freight. Those things are great. You'll even see welders using some of the smaller ones and stuff. They take the little rubber footings off of them, and they can weld up. Those things are great. They got their quick release, but they're not ratcheting, okay? And it's the ratchet that's the problem. You get yourself some Irwin or something like that if you want to go the ratcheting route, if you're going to be lazy like that. But yeah, avoid these. Next up, we got to talk about air compressors. Now, I know Red has said many a time, oh, that Central Pneumatic, it's a great air compressor. And to be honest, okay, well, it was never a great air compressor. It was a good air compressor for the money, which, considering the fact that there were no other air compressors really for the money in that size and performance range, it was kind of not the only one. That said, that's not really true anymore now that they got the McGraw out. Now that McGraw, that's causing a problem for his little brother there, the Central Pneumatic, because once you apply coupons and everything, it's only about $25 less expensive. Now, if you think about it, if the Central Pneumatic, it's got a lot of things about it that ain't too great. That handle's janky, the gauges are hard to read, they're in a bad spot. The drain valve is a pain in the fuzzy backside to get to, and the airline that connects the pump to the tank is just exposed, just hanging out there and gets broken all the time. So what do? They fix all those problems and paint it a nice baby blue kind of color. I like it. They even named it after me. Anyway, the point is, if you had the Central Pneumatic and somebody came up to you and said, hey, for $25, I will take this thing and turn it into this one. Would you do it? Well, heck yeah, you would. There'd be no thinking about it. So why not just go ahead and do it from the get-go? That said, it's kind of funny. It's almost like Harbor Freight knows that their little Golden Boy air compressor there is on its way out because it's on clearance. That means they're going to probably be phasing out. Now, maybe they'll be coming in with a new lower line or something. I don't know. They don't tell me nothing. They talk to Red, but they keep me in the dark. Next up, we're talking about anything Central Pneumatic when it comes to airline coupling devices. I don't care if it's the couplings themselves or the quick release valves or especially these gauges. These things leak like a sieve. They should just say, forget it. It's not a regulator, it's an airline sieve. That's what it is. These things crack and break all the time. Now, the new Merlin stuff they got, well, that's pretty sharp. I rather like that. But this stuff, no, this is junk. You want to avoid that. Next up on the list of things to avoid from the freights, the old Sintech Charger. This thing is just, they work once, maybe twice, and then they die. I don't know what it is. Everyone I've ever seen, it's dead within the first couple uses. Now, the new Viking stuff they got, you gotta like it. Vikings, they're from up north. I'm from up north. We get along. We understand each other. This Sintech one, no, you don't want to get that. Don't go that route. Next up, I think things to avoid for the car. This thing. What is this? A 12-volt auto heater defroster. Now, you're supposed to, allegedly the idea is you've got an old car where the defroster on your front or rear window doesn't work. You plug this into the cigarette lighter and it does the job for you. Except it takes forever. I think your own body heat might do it faster than this. And the best part is it also supposed to be headlights? Why are there lights on this thing? What is the point of that? I don't get it. Oh, things that also not to get. the electric drill sharpener here, there's 119 reviews, and half of them say avoid it at all costs. You'd probably be better off trying to sharpen your drill bits with a herring. At least it'd smell better, right? This thing is just, it's gutless. It doesn't have enough motor in there. And you know what? You can just do it by hand. It ain't that hard. Just watch a video or two on how to sharpen drill bits. You'll get it down. It's not tough. Oh, speaking of gutless, the bench grinder with flex shaft. This, at first glance, man, you got to look at this thing and think, that's not a half bad idea. It's spinning anyway. Let's just stick a flex shaft on there and turn it into a rotary drum bench Dremel also. I mean, it seems like a brilliant concept, right? Yeah, so does water skiing with a narwhal, but trust me, that doesn't work either. And it's, that was another story. Don't even get me talking about the damn narwhals. And the whole point here is that everyone I've seen who's got one of these, they start off all excited about it, and then sooner rather than later, it's sitting in a corner and it's in pieces. It's fallen apart, or it's died, or they just thrown it because they're so upset with it. In fact, Red even did a video recently. What was it? He went to a gunsmith, and you can see as you go through the video, over in the corner, you'll see one of these in pieces. They are inevitable. And something that isn't inevitable is ever getting your tire off with one of these. Oh, this is an emergency impact wrench. And I shouldn't give Harbor Freight a bad time on this, because there's actually a lot of companies that make this. Not a one of them works worth a dang. They're not like a regular, impact wrench where you're going to be sitting in some ooga doogas, and it's more like ooga, dooga. It has to wind itself up, and then it clacks. It is the most ridiculous thing ever, and it might take some lugs off on some smaller vehicles, like maybe a Yugo or a utility trailer or a tricycle. Probably great for something like that. Anything else, you just get yourself a cordless and get a 12-volt battery charger for it. You'll be in better shape. Oh, speaking of 12-volt, a lot of people don't realize Harbor Freight's got themselves, or at least had themselves for some time, a 12-volt cordless tool line. I'm sorry, did I say tool line? How about 3 tools? There's an impact, a drill, and a multi-tool, and that's it. This thing, here's the funny part. All right, now I gotta say, I do like the fact that since it's brushed, they got the door right there you can take off. That's pretty nice, and I'm sure back in the day this was pretty decent. But we've come a bit of a way when it comes to 12-volt tools, and I think for $60 you can do better than this. They're updating everything. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with something better. Maybe they're finally going to realize that this thing just isn't happening, and I don't know if they're going to maybe do it in Bauer or maybe even in Warrior. I'd like to see something, a less expensive version of the Hercules 12-volt. Because I think 12-volt, you're going to see, I think Red's actually going to do a video on it, talking about how 12-volt's the way of the future. And then we also got to talk about the things that are not the way of the future, and that's this Drill Master. Oh my gosh. Red and I, this is the first free tool we ever got from Harbor Freight with our little coupons. We were so excited, and we were so excited to test this thing out. Oh my gosh. Anything you can stop with your paw, all right? That is just a joke and a half. It's beyond gutless. It's like if this thing were a Whopper, it would be the Impossible Burger, because it's the impossible or improbable Dremel. Anyway, don't get this. Now, I do want to talk about one thing that is a bit more possible. It's one of the things that harkens back to the days of the old Harbor Freights, and that is where you knew you were getting something that might have some features or some problems with it that didn't quite work, and you were going to have to DIY it before you could put it into actual work. And that's the 10 by 12 foot greenhouse. Because the fact of the matter is, you're not going to find a greenhouse kit for nearly this price. Or if you do, it's going to be probably the same thing. But how do you deal with it? And the problem with this is the frame is really lightweight, and so it's not very rigid, and these panels snap into there, and they're held in with these hooks that are essentially bent paper clips. I kid you not, that's what they are. And just the slightest little windstorm sends them sailing off into the distance on their own grand adventure to nowhere. I don't know, man. Oh, but all you gotta do to fix that problem is just pick yourself up a box of these sheet metal screws. These are the same things you use to attach like corrugated steel to a frame or tin roof, or well, steel roof. They call them tin roof. Anyway, that's the same thing. It's got that nice little rubber gasket in there that seals it up, cushions it, holds it tight, and just putting one of those in every crossbar on each sheet. It will hold it in place, and you won't have to deal with any of that, and it'll be super fine. And you're paying, a pretty penny under what any other version this thing's gonna cost. Anyway, while I got you here, Red asked me to say a couple things. First of all, remind you all to stop by, check out Tool Talk Live. He and the gang every Sunday. Tools, tech, family business, so much more. Also, don't forget to check out his Pet Humans little book there, the Home Distiller's Workbook, whatever. And he's got his merch. Why doesn't he have a mug with my face on it? I mean, I'm the good-looking one in the family, right? Come on. Look at that. Also, don't forget to check out, or maybe consider joining his little membership gang there, the Den of Tools gang. It's kind of like Patreon, but here on YouTube's. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Red will be back in the next video, probably, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's taking Christmas off. Who knows what he does in Tool Bears. Anyway, you all take care. God bless. Have your all Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Have some fun. Sit around the fire. Roast a seal. Nothing says Christmas like a good slice of blubber, right? Anyway, that's all I got for you. What does Red say? Oh, yeah. Shine on.